Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to talk about the standard storage times for different types of food and share some effective tips on how to extend their shelf life in the refrigerator. If you want to keep your food fresher for longer and reduce waste, stay tuned. 1. Milk. Milk usually lasts 5 to 7 days after the sell-by date when stored in the refrigerator at 32 degrees Fahrenheit to 40 degrees Fahrenheit, 0 degrees Celsius to 4 degrees Celsius. To extend its shelf life, store it in the coldest part of the fridge, which is usually the back, and ensure the cap is tightly sealed after each use to prevent exposure to air and odors. 2. Eggs. Fresh eggs can last 3 to 5 weeks in the refrigerator. They should be stored in their original carton on a middle or lower shelf, not in the door, to maintain a stable temperature. Keeping them in their carton also protects them from absorbing strong odors in the fridge. 3. Cheese. Hard cheeses like cheddar or Parmesan can last 3 to 4 weeks, while soft cheeses like brie or feta last around 1 to 2 weeks after opening. To keep cheese fresh longer, wrap it in wax or parchment paper, followed by a loose layer of plastic wrap or foil, and store it in the crisper drawer to maintain humidity without excess moisture. 4. Raw chicken. Raw chicken lasts about 1 to 2 days in the refrigerator before it starts to spoil. To prolong freshness, keep it in its original packaging, place it on the lowest shelf to prevent drips from contaminating other food, and consider freezing it if not used within 2 days. 5. Raw beef. Raw beef can last 3 to 5 days in the fridge. To keep it fresh, wrap it tightly in plastic wrap or foil to minimize air exposure and store it on the bottom shelf to avoid cross-contamination from any potential leaks. Freezing is a good option if it won't be cooked within this time. 6. Cooked leftovers. Cooked leftovers can typically be kept in the refrigerator for 3 to 4 days. To make them last longer, cool the leftovers quickly after cooking, store them in airtight containers, and place them in the back of the fridge where the temperature is more stable. 7. Leafy greens. Leafy greens like lettuce and spinach usually last 3 to 7 days in the refrigerator. To keep them fresh longer, store them in perforated or breathable bags in the crisper drawer. Adding a paper towel to the bag or container can absorb excess moisture, which helps prevent wilting and spoilage. 8. Apples. Apples can last up to 4 to 6 weeks in the fridge. To extend their lifespan, store them in a plastic or perforated bag in the crisper drawer, as this helps maintain moisture while allowing for some airflow. Keep them away from other produce that emits ethylene gas, such as bananas, which can speed up ripening. 9. Berries. Berries like strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries generally last 3 to 5 days in the refrigerator. To keep them fresh longer, store them in a shallow container lined with paper towels to absorb moisture. Wait to wash them until just before eating to avoid excess moisture, which promotes mold growth. 10. Raw fish. Fresh raw fish should be consumed within 1 to 2 days when stored in the refrigerator. To preserve it for a bit longer, keep it in its original packaging or wrap it tightly in plastic wrap or foil. Place it on a plate in case of leakage and store it on the coldest shelf, typically near the back. 11. Carrots. Carrots can last 3 to 4 weeks in the fridge. To keep them fresh, store them in a plastic bag with holes for airflow or in a container with a damp paper towel to maintain humidity. 12. Potatoes. While potatoes are often best stored in a cool, dark place outside the fridge, once cut, they should be kept in the refrigerator for 3 to 5 days. To store them properly, place them in a sealed container to prevent exposure to air, which can cause browning. 13. Onions. Whole onions can last 1 to 2 months in a cool, dark place. But once cut, they should be stored in the refrigerator for about 7 to 10 days. Store cut onions in an airtight container to reduce odor and moisture loss. 14. Bell peppers. Bell peppers can last 1 to 2 weeks in the refrigerator. To keep them fresh, store them in a plastic bag in the crisper drawer, ensuring they are dry to prevent mold growth. 15. Cucumbers. Cucumbers typically last about 1 week in the fridge. To prolong their freshness, store them in a plastic bag in the crisper drawer and avoid wrapping them tightly as they need some air circulation. 16. Tofu. Tofu can last about 3 to 5 days in the refrigerator after opening. To keep it fresh longer, store it in an airtight container submerged in water, changing the water daily, or freeze it for longer storage. 17. Yogurt. Yogurt can last 1 to 3 weeks past its expiration date when stored properly. To maximize its freshness, keep it sealed in its original container and store it in the back of the fridge, where temperatures are more stable. 18. Mustard. Open mustard can last up to a year in the refrigerator. Keep it tightly sealed and stored in the fridge door or a stable shelf to maintain its quality. 19. Salad greens. Mixed salad greens typically last 3 to 7 days in the fridge. To extend their life, store them in a breathable container or a produce bag with a paper towel to absorb excess moisture. 20. Fresh herbs. Fresh herbs can last about 1 to 2 weeks in the refrigerator. To keep them fresh longer, trim the stems, place them in a jar with water, like flowers, and cover loosely with a plastic bag, or wrap them in a damp paper towel and store them in a plastic bag.